And all viewers, I am Parveen Akhtar, lecturer English, Rampur Ideal Alim Madrasa, Kamranga Sadar, Jadpur. Today I am going to take a class for Alim first and second year from English first paper. So my students, at first look at the picture. Can you know this person? Yes, he is our dear hero Hercules. So our today's lesson is Hercules, Unit 14, Lesson 4 from your textbook. Learning outcome. So my students, after this lesson, we will be able to learn about myth, able to learn about Hercules, able to learn about some unknown words and write summary. So at first, let's know what is myth. Myth is a folklore genre consisting of narratives or stories that play a fundamental role in a society. Clear, my students? Narrative or stories. The main characteristic of myth are usually gods, demigods, and supernatural humans. That means supernatural, unreal things are narrated in this myth. So my students, open your textbook and read the text at first. Hercules was the son of Jupiter and Alemna. You know very well. Eurystheus, the king of Mycenae, and his cousin made him undergo some difficult tasks. No, the king Mycenae and his cousin made Hercules. He means here Hercules undergo means to do some difficult tasks. Tasks means work, which are known in Greek myth as the 12 labor of Hercules. That means the king and cousin who ordered Hercules to do some difficult work, and that work are known as 12 labors of Hercules. That means 12 work has been done by Hercules, and this is known in Greek myth. And among these 12 labors, the first involved a fight with a lion. Clear, my students? He was assigned to do 12 labors. Among them, the first one was with a lion. The belly of Nemea was being disturbed by a terrible lion. Terrible means dangerous lion. And so Eurystheus ordered Hercules to slay the beast. Slay, do you know what is slay? That means kill. Kill the beast here, that lion, and bring him his skin. Do you understand? That means the belly of Nemea was disturbed by a terrible, dangerous lion. And so the king of that belly ordered Hercules, because he know Hercules is the hero, he can be able to do this type of activities. So ordered Hercules to slay. Slay means kill that lion and bring him his skin. And he also ordered him to bring the skin of the lion as an proof. At first, Hercules tried to fight the lion with his clubs and arrows, and he has some instrument, clubs and arrows. And at first, Hercules tried to kill the lion, to fight with the lion with his clubs and arrows. But this took him nowhere. That means he wasn't be able to fight with the lion with that club and arrows. So then Hercules attempted a different tactic. Tactic means technique. When he saw that he wasn't able to fight with that lion with his arrows and club, then he attempts a different tactic. Then he takes a different tactic. He took a different tactic means I have already mentioned technique. He decided he would use his hands, and then when he wasn't able, he with his arrows and club to fight with lion, then he decided he use his hands only. He thus managed to slay the animal on his own, relying entirely on his immense strength. Clear, my students? finally, he is so much hero, he is so much strength that he thus managed to slay. He killed that animal, that lion, in his own hand, and relying entirely on his immense strength. Totally depend on his strength. Can you guess how much strength he has? Immense, huge, a lot of. Victorious, when he was victorious, he was able to kill the lion. He returned to Mycenae, carrying the dead lion on his shoulders, a sight that terrified the king. I have already mentioned, from our previous text that the king ordered him to bring the skin of the lion. And so, when Hercules was able to kill the lion, he returned to Mycenae carrying the dead lion. Not only the skin, but he carried the whole lion to his shoulders. And it was a sight that also terrified the king also. Clear, my students? This is the lion. At first he was trying with his arrow and clubs. See? Fight with arrows. Then with his club. Then he tries with his bare hand. And finally, lion skin on his shoulder. This is the lion on his shoulder when he was able to kill the lion. So I have already finished the first task of Hercules. His next task was to slay a monster called Hydra that was ravaging the country of Argos. So my students, we have already finished first task. The next task, to kill a monster, that Hydra that was ravaging the country of Argos. Ravaging, that means disturbing. The Hydra had 9 heads, of which the middle one was said to be immoral. This is also a myth. That means in that time, people believed that animals or a man had 9 or 10 heads. Our hero struck off its head with his club, but whenever he knocked off a head, 2 new ones erupted in its place. Clear, my students? Our hero here, Hercules, hit off its heads. When he hit off the heads of Hercules with his club, but whenever he knocked off a head, 2 new ones erupted in its place. Erupted means, can you guess what is erupted? That means grow up. Another new 2 ones grow in his head. Eventually, with the help of his devoted servant Loloas, Hercules succeeded in burning all the heads of Hydra except the 9th or the immoral one. That means the ninth number of 9th was called immortal head of Hydra, which he decided to bury under a huge rock. So, my students, his second task was to kill a monster called Hydra, and he was also able to kill that Hydra, and finally he buried the immoral head of the Hydra under a huge rock. Let's see the picture. Fight with the Hydra. This is the picture of Hydra. At first he tried with his club, and finally he buried the Hydra's immoral head under a huge rock. This is a rock. In other words, Hercules triumphed again, as he would every time he was given an impossible task by Ulysses. That means I have mentioned here, Hercules was ordered by the king to do 12 works, and we have already done 2 tasks. And in other words, how many works he was given by the king, he was done that successfully. And this is how he began to acquire the reputation of a hero possessing immense strength throughout the world. So my students, we have already learned about Hercules. Some word meaning are given here: arrow, culture or dart, devoted, loyal, erupted, blast, immense, huge, impressed us, that means turns one's mind, monster, giant, ravaging, destroy, slay, kill, struck, beaten, tactic, strategy or technique, club, baton, undergo, suffer, bury, entomb. So, write a summary from the text above. So, before write summary, you have to know that you have to write summary of the 1/3 of whole passage. So, here are given a model summary for you. So, at first you have to give an introduction of Hercules, then his task and how he was done. Summary: Hercules was Greek mythical hero. This is the introduction. He was the son of Jupiter and Athena. He had immense strength. Clear, my students? Here, three sentences are about Hercules. That means his introduction. Then his activities. He was compelled to do some difficult tasks by Eurystheus, his cousin and the king of Mycenae, which are known as 12 labors of Hercules. We have already mentioned in our passage. His first labor was to kill a lion which was terrifying the people in the valley of Nemea. The second labor was to slay a hydra which was creating a revenge in the country of Argos. He became successful to accomplish his task, thus possessing immense strength and a desire to help the people. He became famous all over the world. I have write the summary in this way. Your summary may be changed. So my students, it is your homework. You will make a flowchart showing the activities of Hercules. One is given for you. Started fighting with a terrifying lion. This is, and you will final the next 5-1. Thanks you to all everybody. Allah Hafiz.